Get your ears wrapped around the Golden State Media Concepts Basketball Podcast. All the scoop you need to know, from college basketball to the NBA and even March Madness. News of your rising stars, topics on and off the hardwood. This is the Golden State Media Concepts Basketball Podcast.
Happy New Year and welcome to the GSMC Basketball Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network with your favorite host, Ryan Holloway. I am very excited. Very, very excited. You want to know why? I'm going to tell you guys why. I'm going to tell you why. Because this might not be basketball related, but this is sports related. You got to be really excited about this. I'm going to tell you. You ready? You ready? Okay, check this out. The Browns have went 0-16. So they are the biggest loser / winner of 2017. I don't care what anybody says about any other losing situations that may have occurred. Some people may have caught L's. Some people may have got beaten up, stomped out. People lost a bunch of money. But no, they are the biggest loser of 2017. So we must celebrate them. Usually, I'll start off these episodes with, this day in NBA history or whatnot to give you, an idea of what happened a few years ago in NBA history. But I couldn't find anything that was popping and incredibly interesting that happened January 3rd, 100 years ago. So with that, your fact of the day or your celebratory sports history thing is going to be the Browns being the second team in NFL history to go 0-16. 0-16. The last team to do it was the Lions. They lost all 16 games. All of them. You know how hard it is to lose that many games? Like, they lost all of them. That means you couldn't catch somebody on like an accidental weekend. Like, you couldn't catch somebody slipping. You couldn't catch someone during a hangover. No, they just took them. They just took 16 L's like it was nothing. 16 L's. Alphabet full of L's. 26 letters, 16 L's. So, I mean, shout out to the Browns. Congratulations. I award you guys on being the biggest loser. You are the weakest link. With that, I'm going to have an amazing show for you guys today as usual. We have the return of Isaiah Thomas yesterday, the much anticipated return ever since the Kyrie Irving trade. And Isaiah Thomas got basically shipped out to Cleveland for Kyrie Irving, who stated that he did not want to play for the Cavs anymore. He wanted to go ahead and be the big tuna somewhere else. Whatever the big tuna means. That's not really a phrase that I've really been that into ever. Oh, wait. That's Bill Parcells, right? He's the big tuna. All right. Too much football crossover. I'm sorry, guys. Too much football crossover. Yes, he wanted to go be the big tuna somewhere else and go and basically run his own block, have his own squad just because he's that type of player. I'm not offended by it at all. I myself am an old school fan of Allen Iverson, and I'm not going to call him a ball hog, but, some of those point guards that have to have the rock all the time, they got to be in certain situations. That's just how it worked itself out. Allen Iverson, Kyrie Irving, Damian Lillard, Lou Williams, Jamal Crawford, Monte Ellis. The list goes on. You got to put those guys in certain situations to have the rock all the time. And he wanted his own situation. Can't knock him for it. Anyway, he went to the Celtics, as you know, and Isaiah Thomas came over to the Cavs. Isaiah Thomas had the hip injury that hindered him in the playoffs last year. So we didn't really know how this thing was going to work out because they made this trade and he wasn't playing and the Cavs were losing some games and Chicken Little ran out and was like, yo, the sky is falling. What are we going to do? The sky is falling. Oh no. What are we going to do? The sky is falling. And then the Cavs started balling all over again, and we started talking about how LeBron should get MVP because he's still low-key the best ever, regardless of what any of you guys say about Kevin Durant, regardless of that. So Big ups to him. So Isaiah Thomas came back last night. He was only supposed to play like a partial amount of the game because he's on what's called a minutes restriction. They're doing this thing called a minute restriction now because that's how you label it, because you don't want to rest players anymore, because when you rest players, the NBA gets upset and they'll fine you 20 to 100 bans. And they'll say, hey, you can't rest these players. We need them to play all 82 games all the time, like James Harden. Since 2015, James Harden has missed 2 games, but he's going to be out for 2 weeks, so he's a durable guy. And the interesting thing about like just not resting players, I'm going to go off on a tangent right now. The interesting about that, like you don't rest these guys, right? And then like he got the Spurs playoffs last year against the Spurs and just burned out. Had a complete burnout. Missed 1,000 shots, scored 8 points, had a complete burnout because he was tired. You know what I'm saying? Same thing as Steph Curry when they played against the Rockets in the finals, not the finals, but during the playoffs a few years ago. Steph got hurt. They went to the finals and lost to LeBron and them because they were playing Steph every game to get the 73-9 record. So, I mean, rest is important, but if the NBA says you gotta play everybody every game all the time, then hey, I say minutes restriction too. So be it. Apparently, the Cavs decided to play Isaiah Thomas yesterday and not play him today against the Celtics, which is the game that, of course, everyone wants to see. But they wanted to play him yesterday and then not play him today. They said that a lot of critics are like, well, they should have played him against the Celtics. Why wouldn't you play against the Celtics? Blah, 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 blah. But, I mean, we all know why, right? Like, they wanted to bring him back at this time, and they felt like playing against Portland would be a good time to bring him back just because, I mean, Portland has like 2 defensive threats that'll get you buckets, and like Portland is a team that is built to get buckets. So you rather have Isaiah Thomas playing against a team where like you guys are just pulling, where everybody's just pulling, completely offensive game, rather than have him like go to the C's and then like maybe get hurt again or just the pressure. You don't want that. You wanted him to come back, but you don't want him to come back and have the immense amount of pressure. So I completely understand what the Cavs were doing with that. I'm not someone that's going to tell them like they have to play that. He has to play a particular game. That's silly. It doesn't make any sense. So let's get to the game, right? I've been talking for so long. I'm going to tell you guys about the game. Basically, the Cavs won 127 to 110. And the irony about that score, well, it's not really irony. It's just a coincidence. They won the game by 17. Isaiah Thomas had 17 points. So I believe Isaiah Thomas coming back, being back, it's going to be a large amount of pressure off of LeBron, obviously. I mean, LeBron had 24, 6, and 8 last night, which those are pretty common LeBron numbers, but Kevin Love had 19, Jay Crowder had 17, Isaiah Thomas had 17, Dwayne Wade at 15. So now you have a more collective scoring effort. So we're going to have the buckets coming from everybody because everyone's just moving a rock. Now they have a point guard again. Like they actually have an actual point guard because, Derrick Rose is, he's still trying to figure out life. He's trying to decide whether or not he wants to come back and play basketball so that Adidas will give him the other $70 million that they owe him, or just pass on $70 million and just keep growing his dreads. Because those are options. Those are options when you've won in life. Like when the Bulls have paid you 6 figures and then you've collected a bunch of bread from Adidas, your options are, I could collect $70 million and come back and just wear a uniform and just be in the league for 2 more years and wear these shoes, or I could just grow these dreads. And that's where I'm at. And if that's where you're at in life, where those are your options, then hey, more power to you. I'm not one to hate. I know it's a bunch of people sitting in the background like, he can't pass on that much money. How could you pass on that much money? I mean, when you have a contract like that, I feel like your whole family knows that you have that type of contract. So when he went home and told his significant other, like, hey, babe, I've decided I'm not going to play basketball anymore. I'm just going to grow these dreads. I feel like his significant other was like, so part of the to get the rest of Adidas money on section 5, line 6, column 23, it says that you have to play 2 more years of basketball. And he's like, how'd you know that? He's like, she's like, it's $70 million. Like, that's how I know. But hey, everyone saying he needs this money, but if you don't need it, then hey man, sit back and grow your dreads. Just don't let anyone tell you anything, Derrick Rose. Don't let them do that. Just sit back, grow your dreads, live your life, B. When you want to come back, come back. And if not, if you're enjoying your time without stressing about basketball, then it'd be fine. I honestly would love to see Derrick Rose come back, like during the playoffs. It would just be the most outstanding comeback story. It'd be the most outstanding playoff story because we haven't seen him in the playoffs in so long. And the Cavs are like inadvertently like growing this like massive snowball of a team where like in the beginning when the ball was rolling, like Isaiah wasn't there. They were trying to figure out the Dwayne Wade thing with him starting and the J.R. Smith thing. And they figured that out. And they started winning games again. LeBron putting up MVP numbers. Then IT comes back. And then he starts playing more minutes. And then Derrick Rose comes back. And he's good. And then next thing you know, Cavs and Warriors in the championship. So for those of you that feel like basketball is boring because it's going to be Cavs and Warriors, you can't say that because the story's been really good. I don't really care about the outcome of the story as far as like what happens on the last page, but the buildup, if the buildup is great, then the ending, you know what? I'm not going to lie to you and tell you the ending doesn't matter because I watch a lot of movies and when the ending's bad, it does irritate me. So I won't tell you that lie. I will not sit here and tell you guys that lie. Anyway, Damian Lillard had 25 buckets as usual. Damian Lillard is outstanding, and I don't think he gets enough credit because of where he plays at. And I hope that one day he gets a great team or makes it to a team where he can actually like get further in the playoffs. Because I feel like I see Allen Iverson written all over him, where he's gonna ball and ball and ball and have the most loyalty to his team, and they're like not gonna do a good job of bringing him anyone that can help him succeed. The stats within the game were pretty close. I mean, I want to say Cleveland won the turnover battle by about 5, and they won the personal foul battle because Portland was hacking. They had 29 fouls. Cleveland had 17. So I want to say that obviously Portland had a hard time stopping Cleveland, and they only won by 17. But when you look at the box score, it doesn't really look like the Trailblazers really ever were leading in the game if you check the box score. Isaiah Thomas had 17. He said it felt really good to be back. He said it's been a long journey for me. I couldn't really see the light at the end of the tunnel. It's going to be a special year. And it seems like he feels good about being back. So I'm excited about IT being back. Finally, all the Cavs fans could calm down. When I get back, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about this Celtics matchup that he's not going to play in, and try to get your feelings on it. I'm going to pay a quick bill. I will be right back.
Are you looking for the very best NFL and college football podcast? Then check out the GSMC Football Podcast. Get the latest football news both on and off the field. From the NFL Draft to trades to the rumor mill to the NFL Combines, they got you covered. That's GSMCpodcast.com/football-podcast. Get updates on college rivalries, game day insights, and much, much more. It's football talk the way you want it. This show eats, sleeps, and breathes football. Don't forget to like them on Facebook and follow them on Twitter. Visit GSMCpodcast.com for more info.
Welcome back to the GSMC Basketball Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. Hosted by your favorite host, Ryan Holloway. I've been telling you guys about the Cleveland versus Portland matchup with the much anticipated return of Isaiah Thomas, who was out with a hip injury, but he seems like he's going to be able to play. I know that was a concern for some people. It was kind of like the Peyton Manning thing a while ago. Well, can he play? Will he be able to play? Like, we know he can play, but how's his neck? I feel like Cleveland was like, well, we know he can play, but like, how's his neck? Because he hasn't played since May 19th. He tore his labrum that ended his 2017 postseason. The guy is 5'9", and he comes back after being out, since May 19th, and drops 17 buckets in 19 minutes. So first game in 7 months. I'm gonna say that's impressive. The man had 3 3-pointers and 3 assists. So I feel like LeBron is like, whew, and like took his hand and like wiped his head like you do when it's a close call. That's what I think LeBron did because, like it was. I think he's happy about the trade now. LeBron's gonna be good either way, but I just feel like it's like he was genuinely concerned about how the guy would bounce back. I would say so. Your man's Damian Lillard had 25 points as usual. Like he's all about getting the buckets. However, Isaiah Thomas, not Isaiah Thomas, the player, but not Isaiah Thomas that plays for the Celtics, but Isaiah Thomas that plays for the Pistons said something interesting. He said that Damian Lillard can actually be better. And I didn't know how Damian Lillard could be better because I think he's outstanding. But Isaiah Thomas said that he would want him to be more of an emotional leader, saying like he could try to help to make his teammates better and inspire them. And I just wasn't sure exactly what he wanted him to do because I feel like there's like a thin line between like telling somebody what it is and being inspiring. What I mean by that is there was a couple times when I remember that I want to say, let's pick a random player. Let's do this. So we got Kobe Bryant, we got Tom Brady, Jay Cutler, Terrell Owens. Chris Paul. Okay. So we got these guys, right, who have been known to like, let's say, yell at their teammates. Tom Brady grabbed his teammate up every once in a while. I remember Jay Cutler grabbing a teammate, getting in the lineman's face. Chris Paul will let you know what's going on. So will Kobe Bryant. And I just think that that's solely based on like your success, right? So like when Kobe did it so many times, like he has 5 championships. So looking back on it, it's like okay that he did that. But when we look at like Terrell Owens, like going bad on his teammates, we call him a diva. Like if a wide receiver does that, we call him a diva. But if you have wins, then it's okay. Chris Paul does it. He doesn't quite have a championship yet. Chris Paul doesn't, but according to like opinions and so on, he's like a bully on the court, which I think is unfair. So I don't know if Damian Lillard needs to become like more of a vocal leader. I feel like the way he balls says a lot about his leadership, and I'm not 100% sure if him like letting teammates have it is gonna make things better for their squad. I think they're in the West, and they're just not in the best situation in the West. Like they have a future Hall of Famer on the team. NCJ McCullough also give you 25 buckets, but they're just not in a great situation in the West, in my opinion, which is difficult because you have a great player and it's the West. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna wait till the Warriors aren't good anymore. Wait till OKC is not good. I don't know what you're gonna do. I think he's gonna be fine. Let me get to this Celtics game. So Isaiah Thomas is not going to play tonight against the Celtics. And there was an uproar about it. People aren't very happy because they've waited for this game. Which I honestly believe like it's fine because for some reason when these teams play, weird stuff happens. Like the last time they opened the season up with all this pressure, Gordon Hayward got hurt. So let's not. I feel like Tyronn Lue's doing the right thing. Like, hey man, we don't want the hoopla with you still not being 100. According to Isaiah Thomas, his conditioning is okay, but Tyronn Lue's like, no, we're going to put you on the minute restriction because we're not ready. We don't want to do that in that particular area. The Celtics were going to give Isaiah Thomas a tribute video, which that's the thing you do when players go back and you play the video. Like Carmelo Anthony went back to the Knicks, not to the Knicks, but he went back to go play a game at the Knicks and he got the video. And Paul George went back to Indiana and he got a video. Isaiah Thomas requested in advance that he did not want a video, even though the Celtics were going to run a video for him. He made it clear he didn't want one because he's not going to be playing, which I mean makes sense, right? Like you're gonna have this massive highlight video playing, and then you're on a minutes restriction. Like I'm not retired, B. Like why is this on here? Like I didn't die, but if you're gonna play and you can watch the video and get all pumped up, I think that's a great time to do it because you're gonna sit there and watch your highlight tape and then you're gonna go out there and dog them because he still feels a way about being traded. He said, I might not ever talk to Danny again. I'll talk to everybody else, but what he did, knowing everything I went through, you don't do that, bro. That's not right. I'm not saying F you, but every team in this situation comes out a year or two later and says we made a mistake. That's what they'll do. So he wants to have like a whole show and just thoroughly dog them, which is what I completely respected. He's not going to have them show some video while he's on the bench, which would have been smart on their end, because the Celtics are like, all right, we'll play the video, and in that way, during the video, if he doesn't play, then we're good because we got Kyrie, and then we won't have to see like a comparison. But Isaiah Thomas has a plan where he's going to show up in Boston. They're going to play the video, and he's going to drop 30. That's what he wants to do. He wants to make them feel it, which he said they're gonna regret this a year or two later, which I kind of think is some. I'm not gonna say it's shade, because I mean I love when people speak their mind, but I feel like that's a little, not a slight, but I like the confidence. I like the confidence in him basically saying, I don't respect your trade there, and you're gonna regret your trade in 1 or 2 years. Now what? There, deal with it. And I like where he's coming from. I genuinely do. I feel like you want to put on your best show. You don't just go to some job interview if you're not ready. No. And you don't buy a suit if you don't feel like it's going to look good on you. You get your body right. You get your body measured. You get the suit tailored. Then you buy the suit. Then you wear the suit somewhere awesome where people are going to see you. Then you look outstanding. Like, oh, that guy looks outstanding in that suit. We shouldn't have fired him. I don't know why you'd show back up somewhere that you got fired wearing an awesome suit, but long as you get the message, then it's fine. Somebody actually tweeted Isaiah Thomas about him not having a video, and they basically told him to get over himself. And he said, "Get over myself, huh? Because I would like to actually play and have my family in the arena and appreciate the love the city organization will show us. And then about me, it's about my family. You get over yourself, dummy." So yeah, I mean, I guess I misspoke earlier. So yeah, when he plays, he wants to have people there that watch him play and be able to watch that video and everything. He doesn't want people to go to watch his game and watch the video if he's not going to play. I mean, I don't understand what the problem with that is. I'm not 100% sure. And if he's not ready to play against the Celtics quite yet, then what difference does it make if he doesn't want to play? They're going to play them again, which is going to be, looks like February 11th. So, I mean, they'll play them then, and then everything's going to be fine. I want to know, my question is, I kind of want to know how Kyrie feels about all this. Not necessarily, what's the word? Not if he's like offended, because Kyrie is really like in tune with his star player. Like when he talks, you can kind of tell that he knows stuff. Like he kind of like knows, he knows himself. I don't think this would bother him, but I kind of want to know how he feels about Isaiah Thomas being ready to go like head up with him. Like I wonder if that's what he expected. And Kyrie does live through the Church of Kobe and the Mamba mentality, so I'm pretty sure he's up for all challenges. I just wanna know how he feels about it. I know he's gonna give like some Kung Fu Kyrie answer, like, well, you know, there are no challengers. There's only yourself, which is true. That's a Bruce Lee quote. But I just want to know how he feels about it. I think it'd be cool to ask him, like, hey, it seems like IT is getting ready to play you. Are you concerned about that? Is that kind of something that you're worried about? And then he says, no, not worried about it at all, because there are no challengers. So I look forward to that. I want to tell you guys something that happened the other day. This is kind of weird. Did you guys know that LeVar Ball founded the NBA? Like, did you know that he founded it like in the 40s? Were you aware of that or no? Because I wasn't aware of it. But we turn to Google for all of our information. That's where we go for info. We contact Google. We say, hey, Google, how do you make chocolate chip cookies? We say, hey, Google, how long does it take to drive from Wyoming to Wisconsin? We say, hey, Google, do you know where my keys are at? We ask Google for everything. That's what we do. That's what we do as a people, as a society, as a staff, record label, and the crew. Turns out Google listed LeVar Ball as one of the NBA founders. Now, I don't really no, like Google said it was obviously a glitch and they're working on it. They actually said they made like a pretty clever pun about it. Google said, clearly we dropped the ball, wink. We're taking a timeout, wink, to huddle around the issue and we expect to rebound soon. Haha, wink. I'm gonna read this to you completely because it's kind of clever. Clearly we dropped the ball. We're taking a timeout to huddle around the issue and expect to rebound soon. I get it. Bunch of sports puns. That was pretty good, Google. Good job. I could have wrote something a little bit better, so contact me if you need someone to write something better, but we'll go with that. It's 100% okay. But I just want to talk about how this happened, because if Google is telling us it's someone that founded the NBA, who obviously was not born at the time the NBA was founded, because the NBA was founded by several arena owners in the 1940s. Wow. And LeVar Ball was born in like the 60s. So if Google is like messing up and giving us wrong information on that, I'm not 100% sure if I can just be willy-nilly just turn into Google for the information that I need in my life all the time. I don't know, Google, I'm gonna have to reevaluate that. I don't know where I'm gonna get my information from. Go to some silly library or something like that. But anyway, this basically leads me in our next story. LeVar Ball is looking to create basically a prep league where instead of like players going overseas, like how he sent his sons overseas, or them going to college for a year, he can like start his own league that they can like play in, and players will receive a $10,000 stipend. I'm not sure if that's the maximum or the minimum, but he's gonna have his own league where players can play, and then they basically prep them for the NBA, which I personally, I support it. I think it's a great idea, just because they're not necessarily like letting let me not say letting. I won't say letting. There's not a lot of opportunities for people of LeVar Ball's stature to buy teams or start leagues or have their own organization. So if he can have his own shoe, then start his own league, and then have an area where the players can play and the NBA can pull them from that, that's great. That's 100% great. Why should everyone have to go overseas or be forced to go to college? Not necessarily be forced, but go to a school where you're playing with 90% of the people that aren't there to do the same thing that you're doing just so the NBA could draft you. If you can go to a league that's actually made for NBA prep, it will probably make college basketball better, just because you get more 4-year players and you get more players that are serious about playing for college for a significant amount of time. There'll be more identity towards the game, and there'll be less of the whole one and done thing that everyone wants to talk about all the time. And if you have an actual league, we can even call it the one and done league, where it's specifically made for players to play a year or two max and then go to the NBA. I don't see anything that's wrong with that. It seemed like, right, it'd be the absolute best talent available, right? I wouldn't know how the training would go, because I know, like, yeah, if you go to school on scholarship, you're going to have the most outstanding trainers. You're going to have the most impressive weight rooms, the best diet, the best equipment, all of that. It's all going to be included because they want you to do well at the school that you're performing at. I couldn't tell you how the LeVar Ball League would go with that, like how they would match that. But if you go there and know that this is your thing, like Calipari in Kentucky, right? So like you go there and you know that when you go play for Cal, then you're going to the league. And if you don't go to the league, then you know you're just on the team for fun. But he's going to get you to the league. One and done all-star. He's not even the only coach that does one and done. He's been stamped with that or whatnot. But say like if him and LeVar Ball teamed up and like worked this whole thing out, right? I think you may be able to see some success. You get some name recognition with Calipari, who's had basically, let's say, some success with sending people to the league. You got LeVar Ball, who is basically the emperor of basketball communication. Then we may have something there, especially if his kids that are overseas can get a name for themselves, and they may start this league out. We'll see. But that's what we're gonna do. I'm going to take a quick break, and then I'm going to come back, and I'm going to tell you guys more interesting things that happened in the NBA since it's been 2018. Well, I'm telling you, this is kind of old stuff because some of it's from last year. Wait, nothing's from last year. The LeVar Ball thing's from last year. but the game happened last night. So we're going to bounce back and forth between like this year and last year, which was like a couple days ago. So like that's kind of that like wisecrack joke, like, hey, see you next year, when people say they'll see you in 2 hours. I digress. I'm going to give you a commercial to bless your ears with, and I'll be right back.
Check out the show that's built on the MMA, from the UFC to extreme cage fighting. They got the fights covered. Check out the GSMC MMA podcast. Get the latest news on past or upcoming fights. Join us as we talk to and about some of the biggest names in the MMA, past, present, and future. When it's the fight game, there's just one show to check out. GSMCpodcast.com/MMA-podcast. Don't forget to like them on Facebook and follow them on Twitter. Visit GSMCpodcast.com for more info.
Welcome back to the GSMC Basketball Podcast, presented by the GSMC Podcast Network with your favorite host, Ryan Holloway. I want to say Happy New Year again, just, I hope everybody's having a good year so far. It's only been 3 days. So if your year is already going bad, I'm not going to tell you to suck it up, but don't get discouraged because it's been 3 days. You still got 362. You'll be all right. Everything's going to be fine. Similar to your man's James Harden. James Harden got hurt. He got a hammy the other day during a win against the Pacers. He actually left the game with 40 buckets. He limped out on his own, so he was okay. He got 40 buckets and 11 assists and was 17 from 21 from the field. Now, I want to tip my hat to James Harden for just being an Iron Man. I was just looking up some information or whatnot, and it turns out James Harden has missed 2 games since the 2014-2015 season. He goes hard and he balls. And I'd actually like to talk to James Harden about this, because I know we're really into players' training regimens and particular things they do and what they eat. And we watch these YouTube videos with football players jumping out of pools and lifting cars, dragging elephants across parks. But I kind of want to know what he's doing to play that many games. Him and Westbrook. I read about Westbrook's interviews, and one person said, I want to say it was Kendrick Perkins when he played with Westbrook. He said he never saw him work out. Not in a bad way, but his workouts and things that he does are kind of hidden, they're shrouded away in secrecy. He works out behind this top secret door or whatnot, and no one ever gets to know what's going on behind that door. And I just want to know. I want to know what's happening. I would genuinely like to know what James Harden is doing to just ball that hard. I want to know, because the man is playing possessed. He's averaging 30 a game. He's still in the race for MVP. The Rockets have the best record. Yet they did go into this game that he got hurt by losing 5 games. So they were on a 5-game losing streak before they went ahead and got this W. But I want to know what he's doing to ball like that all the time. I want to know what him and Westbrook are eating. I want to know what they were being fed in OKC, and who taught them to just never have a serious injury. Even Westbrook has had serious injuries, but when he comes back, he's better. How does that work? How does Westbrook get hurt and tear his ACL and then come back and just be better? While Derrick Rose and get hurt, and then every time Derrick Rose gets hurt, he's worse. What are they doing? What are your trainers doing? What are they feeding you? I want to talk more about this. I want to find out more information about this. One thing to be concerned about though with the Rockets is that with James Harden being out, I think we're gonna find out how much that believe they gave him $130 million. We'll find out how much that $130 million is worth, because with him averaging what he averages I thought he was averaging 30 a game. I'm sorry, guys. He's averaging 32.3 points a game. Jeez. All right. So with him averaging 32, and their team like not playing any defense and primarily relying on 3-point shots, I want to see what happens. I want to find out. I want to see if Chris Paul, and let's call him Chris Ball. I mean, he's from LA. I mean, all the other ball brothers are, but he's not really from LA. He played in LA. Anyway, I digress. I want to find out what they can do without him. I think it's gonna be interesting to see that, with them being down by 30 more points and not having the person that averages 9 assists per game. James Harden, because he draws the defense near the 3-point line and in the key, he's a defensive magnet. Like people are drawn to him. That's why he gets a lot of dimes. He's kicking out to these shooters that can make threes. You got Eric Gordon, you got Ryan Anderson, got Trevor Ariza. Everybody's getting buckets. But I want to find out what happens when Chris Paul is like the designated point guard on the team. I'm looking forward to finding out how they do. He's going to be out for 2 weeks, so I think that's probably going to shake things up in our NBA standings a little bit, because right now they are they're actually ranked second. I thought they were ranked first, but they're 3 wins behind the Golden State Warriors. So I'm actually looking forward to. I'm not looking for James Harden not playing, but I'm looking forward to seeing the difference in the Rockets without James Harden playing, which is something that they're going to have to get used to. Because last season he got hurt in the playoffs and the Spurs destroyed them. They didn't have any idea what to do, because once you get in that half court set and James Harden can't go full speed into the free throw line, make everyone foul him and get layups, they didn't have anyone to distribute the rock, because those guys can't create their own shot, right? So that's why I believe that CP3 is a great addition for that team, for that half-court set, and when James Harden can't play. So I'm going to tell you guys that it's definitely something to look forward to. I know that everyone's enjoying watching James Harden play, because, I mean, I am. I think he's great. I don't think he can be stopped. But without him, I think D'Antoni is going to have to get a little bit more creative. I'm going to jump back to OKC. Paul George was asked in an interview recently about how he felt about LA. Now, if I'm Paul George, I think I'm kind of getting tired of asking this question now, just because, like, I'm in OKC now, and you guys don't like when players talk about where they want to go, and you guys keep asking me about OKC. So he was asked about it. I mean, he keeps being asked about LA. He was asked about LA again, and he said, all that I said was that I was a destination I'd love to go to. There wasn't, hey, gunpoint to his head, send me there. I just stated somewhere that I wanted to go play. You asked 80 to 70% of the guys in the league if they would love to go back home and play for their city, play for their home. That's all I stated. I would love to go back home and play for my city. So no regrets at all. No regrets at all. I thought this trade went down and was a win-win for both sides. So I find it interesting. Oh, wait, lastly, he said, it comes down to just being grateful and happy for where you are. You just never know. And like, I commend that answer, because what's he supposed to say? Like, he's in OKC now. He basically, I don't want to say he was ran out of Indiana, but he got stamped in Indiana as like being ungrateful and not wanting to be there, just because he said like he would like to play in LA. And of course he wants to go to LA. Like, why wouldn't he want to go to LA? But he's on OKC now. So we're asking these questions, like borderline low key trying to create what's the word? We're going to say it's inadvertent beef. I mean, not a beef, but like a slight riff. He doesn't want to talk about it. Doesn't want to talk about it. So I commend Paul George, especially because they're winning games right now. OKC is finally like being a real team, not a real team, but they're looking like a team that might make the playoffs. They're finally in 5th place. And I remember a time ago when they were in 12th, and I was genuinely concerned. But I feel like Billy Donovan has finally just figured out a way to get this worked out. Carmelo is still not coming off the bench, but I think Westbrook has just taken the time to like no longer defer. Like, I don't think he's trying anymore to get Carmelo involved. I think Westbrook is just going to play his game. When the ball ends up in Carmelo's hands, it's just going to be there, because Westbrook looking for people is probably slowing his game down. I feel like for them to go on the run that they've went on, I want to say they've won. Can't tell you guys for sure. I want to say they've won. I want to say they went on a 6-game winning streak. So, actually, no, I'm sorry. They to end December, they went on a 12-5 run. So after a rough start of 8-12, and again, I had questions about, well, should Carmelo come off the bench? Like, what exactly are we going to do? Like, with this information, what do you guys? What's the next step? Like, are we going to talk about Billy Donovan like not being able to win with these great players? Like, what exactly are we doing? But it seems like they've rattled off a nice little win streak and a collective amount of wins. And, once you start winning, people start asking questions. And that's when they started asking Paul George about his situation when he responded, he's happy with the team that he's on, which, I would be right because, I want to say Oklahoma's closer to LA than Indiana is closer to LA. Just I'm not a map expert and I haven't traveled everywhere in the world, but I'm going to say Oklahoma is closer to Cali than Indiana is. That's just my guess. I could be wrong. And he's playing with two other great players. So if you're playing with somebody else that can give you 30 at any time, would be in Westbrook, and you're playing with somebody else that could give you 20 at any time, being Carmelo, and you're playing with a solid team that could play defense, and they know that you're there and can play D and will get you the rock, I think he's okay with that. I was told by somebody that Paul George isn't like an alpha dog or whatever, or he doesn't take the last shot. This last shot thing is like, it just blows it out. The last shot thing blows my mind because, is Shaq not an alpha dog? That last shot thing blows my mind. And honest, I don't even think we should be in situations to be taking last shots all the time. In life, you should always want to dominate. But I was told that he wasn't the alpha dog, and it seems like because he left the team that he was on, that makes him not an alpha dog. I feel like he paid his dues where he was at, and if he wants to go somewhere to have a better chance of winning, then that's what he should do. I think that him voicing that he did want to get out of there so that they could make a trade is better than him being completely silent and then them just taking an L for him in the summer. So, shout out to Paul George in this situation that he's in right now with OKC and with them going to make the playoffs and with them going on their 12-5 run. Because I was concerned. I really wanted to know what OKC was going to do because Scott Brooks was in the same situation. Scott Brooks had James Harden, Kevin Durant, and Westbrook. I don't want to say the same situation, but we're not winning finals games. James Harden's coming off the bench because of defensive liability. You don't know how to figure this out with these three players. What's going on? What's the problem? And that's why they had to fire him. And I saw the same thing going on with Billy Donovan. If you got these three players, I don't know what you're doing for rotations or what you're doing for ball movement or whatever, but this got to get figured out. Somebody's got to figure this out. I don't know who's got to figure it out, but someone's got to figure it out. That's why you're here as the coach. You had Kevin Durant and Westbrook and we couldn't get it done. And then Kevin Durant left and then you just had Westbrook and we got you Paul George and Carmelo Anthony. So you need to just get this worked out. This is what we need you to do. Somehow, some way, Snoop Dogg voice, somehow, some way. You got to get this. You got to get this figured out. So I'm glad they got it worked out because I was genuinely concerned. Anyway, I'm going to pay a quick bill. You guys are going to drastically enjoy this commercial. It's going to be great. And then when I get back, I'm going to tell you guys about the game of the night, the pick of the night, and that's where we'll be. That is what we'll be. I'll be right back.
Check out the show built around the women of MMA. From the UFC to the extreme cage fighting, we got the fights covered.
Listen.
It's the Golden State Media Concepts Women's MMA Podcast. The latest news of upcoming fights, discussions of previous matches. Join us as we talk to and about the biggest names in women's mixed martial arts, past, present, and future. When it's the women's fight game, you know where to listen to. The Golden State Media Concepts Women's MMA Podcast.
Welcome back to the GSMC Basketball Podcast with your host, Ryan Holloway. presented by the GSMC Podcast Network to fulfill all of your podcasting needs. So, Happy New Year again. Hopefully all you guys made it to New Year. If you're here, then, congratulations, you made it. If you didn't make it and you're listening to this, like, as a ghost, then thank you for contributing some of your ghost time to hang out with me. Like, that's cool. Your ghost schedule can probably be kind of, I don't know, what's the word, busy, but you took time to be here with me, and I appreciate that. As promised, I told you guys I'm going to give you a game of the night and the pick of the night, in the episode. That's usually what I do. However, I just wanted to give the blatant tank award to the Atlanta Hawks. Not sure if you guys saw the game last night, but they were down by 3 points with 3 seconds left, and Dennis Schroeder, their point guard, decided to push the ball from one end of the court all the way to the other end of the court and make a layup at the buzzer, and they lost by 1 point. They were down 101 to 104, and he's like, I'll show you guys what's really good. Pushes the ball all the way down the court, and he tries to make a layup, and he makes the layup, and they lose by 1 point. So the Hawks have the worst record in the NBA. So maybe they're on the great tank experiment. That could be it, because the great tank experiment does happen sometimes where it's like, none of these games matter. They're 10-27. They're doing very badly. I think the most incredible thing about this play, if you watch this play, I'm not going to say the lack of basketball IQ, but it's funny because one of the players in the Suns runs across the court to try to block Dennis Schroeder's layup. Then it's like, bro, you guys are up 3 and he's trying to make a layup with a second left. It's okay. It's fine. It's 100% fine. But when you watch it and he's speed down the court to basically use up all the time, it's like, wait a minute, you guys trying to tank on purpose? You guys trying to lose these games? Because 10-27. Maybe there's not a lot to look forward to. So not even give yourself a chance. Hey man, kick it out for this 3. No. We're really not going to win. Because that's how you take away every chance to win the game, right? You'd have the better chance of winning the game if you shot the ball, if you inbound the ball and shot it from the volleyball line from the other side of the court. If you just shot a half court shot, you'd have a better chance of winning the game than going and making this layup. Because 3 points is more than 2 points. Somebody should probably get to the Hawks about that. I'm not 100% sure who's in charge of getting that information to them, but whoever is, I hope they do. I hope they do, because you can't have that. You can't have that. Listen, the game of the night is what I'm going to give you guys. You probably know that. You probably know this. You probably know that the game of the night to watch. The game of the night to watch. You ready? It's going to be Cleveland versus Boston. It's going to be Cleveland at Boston. Kyrie will be playing. Gordon Hayward obviously won't be playing. And Isaiah Thomas is not playing because he's on a minutes restriction. He played last night. He scored 17. They're trying to take it easy. They want him to play when he can dominate, and he also wants to have the video played the same night that he does just try to dominate, which I'm completely all for. As I told you guys earlier, he doesn't want his video tribute tonight because he's not playing tonight. He wants them to play the video. Then he wants to drop 40 on them all on the same night. He doesn't want to do a whole play the video. I'm in my warm-ups and I wave to you guys like I retired. No. I'm going to drop 40 after you see the video, because his words, quote, they're going to regret this in a year or two. So without Isaiah Thomas and Gordon Hayward, we got Kyrie versus LeBron. We got a team that gets buckets against a team that plays a lot of defense. The Celtics play a lot of D. This will be their second meeting in this season because they played for the season opener. So it should be an interesting game, especially because LeBron just had this boost from Isaiah Thomas last night having 17. So LeBron was able to take it easy and cruise control and have 24. Only for LeBron we'd call 24 cruise control, right? Let's see, LeBron and maybe James Harden and Kevin Durant and Steph Curry. But it's crazy we call that true cruise control, because usually LeBron has to get 29 for them to win. But we're going to see the transition between LeBron having someone help him with the extra 17, which is how much they won the game by. They won 127 to 110, and Isaiah Thomas had 17 points. And now Isaiah Thomas isn't there anymore, so it's going to be interesting to see the drop-off between LeBron having help and not having that help. Plus, the Celtics are really good. So I feel like I don't ever really believe players have anything to prove because they have they have other stuff to do. Like, they play 82 games, but I do feel like this is going to be a big deal game. I mean, Kyrie Irving did leave the Cavs because he wanted like a bigger role. He wanted to go learn more about basketball in his own like individual spirit and so on and all that stuff. So that's the good game to watch. If I were you guys to watch that tonight, it's gonna be on that 5:00 Pacific time. The game that you're going to be betting on tonight, as far as like putting a little bit of dough on it, you're going to take the. Are you guys ready? Are you guys ready? This is what you're going to do. You're going to take the Minnesota Timberwolves against the Brooklyn Nets. Minnesota -6.5. The reason you're going to take this game is because I sincerely believe that the odds makers are not paying enough attention to the Minnesota Timberwolves. They don't make a lot of noise, but they're ranked fourth in the West, and they're playing the Brooklyn Nets in Brooklyn. So if I were you guys, I would take that game. That's what you'll do, and that's going to be it. Oh, and there's this. I'm completely sorry. I kind of buried the lead when I talked about. I told you guys that I would give you like an NBA tidbit like every day, and I didn't really give you guys one because I didn't feel like there was anything like interesting to tell you. So I went ahead and celebrated the Cleveland Browns losing 16 straight games, which it may sound mean to you that I celebrated that, but they're celebrating it too. They're having a whole parade. But something did happen, but it wasn't on this day like 20 years ago. It was on tomorrow. It was on tomorrow 17 years ago. Does that count? Are you guys okay with that? I'm gonna give you guys something that happened January 4th, 17 years ago. Will that work for you? All right, fine. Michael Jordan, when he was playing for the Wizards, not MJ on the Bulls, but MJ on the Wizards, he was basically the fourth NBA player to score 30,000 career points. So I always thought that MJ came back to the Wizards just to see if he could still ball. But like MJ having the competitive spirit that he has, I wonder if he was like, you know what? I got to get 30,000. Because I would think that when he left, he played 2 seasons with the Wizards. I would think when he left, he was somewhere around what? Let's say, I don't know, 28, 27. So if he knew he had to get 30,000 and knew that Kobe would be on his heels, because at this point, Kobe's in the league for like 5 years, MJ had to be like, man, you know, I gotta get 30,000 points. Now I know why Michael Jordan came back. I never really understood it, but now I get it. I see why you had to get 30,000 points. It all makes sense. So, congrats to MJ for scoring 30,000 points 17 years ago. And that will be it for today. So I thank you guys for joining me on another amazing GSMC basketball podcast presented by the GSMC Podcast Network. Have a happy 2018. It was great speaking with you on my first show of the year. We will do more. I will talk to you guys on Friday. Be safe, live long, prosper. Watch out for potholes.
You've been listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Basketball Podcast, part of the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. You can find this show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and Google Play. Just type in GSMC to find all the shows from the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network, from movies to music, from sports to entertainment, and even weird news. You can also follow us on Twitter and on Facebook. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's program.